All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you're listening to. Thank you so much for joining me on the Coach Nate Show. This is Coach Nate. It is August the 21st. Wow, Sunday already, August the 21st. Already heading into September. Unbelievable to think about. So thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate you guys joining in and coming in and talking about, again, another topic that's very, very close to me and something that I'm very passionate about. Just like last week with diabetes, this week with lowering cholesterol. So we'll talk obviously about foods that we want to eat and foods that we want to avoid and not eat to lower cholesterol. But overall, the big picture, of course, improve heart health and reduce the risk of heart disease. Again, something that's on the rise all across the world. Epidemic of heart disease, and one of the major contributors to heart disease and cardiovascular disease is going to be, and we see these in studies, and you might know someone, and I know people, I know multiple individuals, and have worked also with multiple clients who have high cholesterol levels. So we're going to talk a little bit about LDL cholesterol, so bad LDL cholesterol. We'll talk a little bit about HDL cholesterol, so our good cholesterol. We'll talk a little bit about LDL oxidation when we talk in today's show. So, again, thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it. Say hi in chat if you could. It was great last week hearing where everyone was from. It was awesome to see everyone who was in chat and everyone asking their questions. And you guys always know I love hearing where you guys are from. So if you could do that, let me know if I can be heard. It's always great to know that as well. But again, thank you so much. And I'm really, really excited. I'm really excited with these shows, how we're doing our topics. And like I said, we'll have them at least once a week. At least have them on the Sunday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is my time. So it's 7:10 a.m. right now. And again, that could switch. We might be adding more. I would like to in the near future. So again, with your guys' support, I'm able to do that, and I really do appreciate that. So we're going to continue with these shows. I want to be able to come live with you guys and be able to answer your live questions. I want to be able to have a live discussion with you guys as well. Like I said, this is what I do for a living, coaching individuals, helping individuals with their overall health, with their fitness goals, with their nutrition, and working on a diet plan and things like that for them. So, I'm more than happy to get on here and help you guys with your goals and talk about certain topics, but also answer your questions as well. Before I begin, big shout out to the members of the channel. You guys know who you are. Those individuals who have clicked the join button and become Fit for Life team members, and who will be getting extra perks for becoming a member and supporting the channel that way. Also, again, I have to give a big shout out to people who have super chatted. And I have to say this because I won't say the name, and they know who I'm talking about. The person who did it right at the end of chat last week, not being able to thank them live on microphone through voice, not being able to thank them that way. I would just want to make sure that I do that now. So thank you, everyone who has joined as a member and who has so graciously donated through the super chat function on here. Again, it helps with the stream so much. Also, big shout out before we begin for those individuals who have taken a look at my Amazon link, my recommended essentials for clients that I work with, all right, and also just for people who ask me about certain, it can be from things, I always say, from water bottles to food journals to workout journals. What do I use? What do I recommend to my clients? Well, again, I've put up an Amazon link there to a shop, and of course, if you do buy from that shop, I do get a little bit back from that, so that's one way to support the channel. Thank you everyone who has gone on to that Amazon recommended essentials for clients to improve their health and stay motivated. Thank you everyone who has gone onto that Amazon link. So again, that's another way to give back, and I thought I'd just get that out of the way right at the beginning here, just because those individuals have been supporting the channel like you all have, through viewing, through liking the video, through watching, through subscribing, but just wanted to give a quick shout out to our Fit for Life team members, those individuals who have super chatted and the individuals who have gone on through that Amazon link. Take a look. There's hundreds of products on there that I went through, guys. Some that are just a couple dollars. It's not something that I wanted to, put things out there that were hundreds of dollars. You need this, you need that. Because you guys know, to get healthy, you do not have to spend an inordinate amount of money for certain equipment or things like that. You can start today, and you can start small, and I'm all about making tiny steps to improving your overall health. So just got that out of the way, guys. I know some people will be listening to this later, so big thank you to everyone, those people who I mentioned, and big shout out to all of the listeners, everyone who is listening right now, everyone who will be listening to this in a little bit. Again, love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. I see everyone flowing in here. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. Say hi, guys. Let me know where you're listening from. Again, I love when the chat is engaging, and I love when we're talking about our overall health together. And of course, I love hearing where you're from. So let's get right into the topic. Like I said, this is going to be one that's going to be, sort of not special might be the right word, but at least one that I'm passionate about. Because when it comes to our cholesterol, and again, cholesterol is misunderstood in a lot of ways. Speaking with clients, individuals thinking that they have to, if they want to improve their cholesterol, they think they have to have no cholesterol at all. Cut out all LDL cholesterol, all HDL cholesterol, whatever it is. But we have to remember, if we want to be healthy, we need some cholesterol in our body. Just also know, with that being said, that not all cholesterol is created the same. Some is healthy for us, and some can be harmful to us. All right, but we need to know that we can't be scared of cholesterol. So some people will stay away from any cholesterol, so foods that contain any cholesterol at all, which we just do not want to do. We want to be making sure that we're making good cholesterol-rich food choices. All right, but remember, those food choices aren't created equal. You'll hear me talk about eggs, all right, which are going to be nutritious for us. And then we're going to talk about the ones that we're going to avoid, the others which will be unhealthy for us. And we'll start with the ones that we're going to want to avoid. Okay? For most of us, it's going to be okay to enjoy healthy cholesterol foods like eggs. Some of the other ones I'll mention. I won't get right into them right away. But we want to make sure that we avoid some of the other high cholesterol foods, some that are going to be harming us. Obviously, if you have high cholesterol, we're going to want to make sure that we're keeping tabs on our diet and watching what we're eating, while also making lifestyle changes as well, guys. You guys know how big I am on that. Okay. And of course, I have my morning coffee with me today. Hope you guys are enjoying your coffee if you're having one right now as well. But I think we're a good start with today's show. And again, we're on number 3. I think a good start is foods to avoid to lower cholesterol. All right? At least foods to avoid if we want to improve our overall, not only cholesterol, but also our overall heart health. Because as we see all over the world, heart health, heart disease, cardiovascular disease is increasing all over the world. Like they say, they call it the silent killer, and it absolutely is. Heart attacks on the rise. We see strokes on the rise. Things of that nature, guys. Blood pressure, all of that stuff. And one of the biggest and one of the main contributors to heart disease and cardiovascular disease is going to be high cholesterol, unhealthy cholesterol levels. So let's talk a little bit about the foods that we want to avoid, guys. And again, please say hi if you're in chat. So, foods that we want to try to avoid. All right, one, not only are they high in cholesterol, so these foods are going to be high in cholesterol, but not beneficial cholesterol. They're going to be actually devoid or very low in beneficial cholesterol, right? But also, these types of foods should be avoided not only because of their cholesterol levels, but just because of their lack of nutrition in general and their ability to be high in calories, low in nutrition, and increasing our chance of gaining weight. And again, gaining weight is going to be one thing that we want to avoid, especially if you have high cholesterol levels. Again, it all goes back to our overall health and our heart health. Okay, so let's go over some of the high cholesterol foods that's probably best for us to limit or avoid. I would probably avoid these as much as possible. The first is probably, I would say, would be sugars, guys. Again, sugar, if you've listened to me for any amount of time, it can be one show, it could be 100 shows, because I think I've done 100 streams before in the past. I haven't done 100 of the Coach Nate shows yet. We will get there, but if you've listened to any shows, you've heard how much my disdain for processed sugar, of course. All right, we need to make sure that if we want to lower cholesterol levels, to do that, we need to give ourselves the best chance, and the best chance to do that is by decreasing and avoiding sugar. Okay, there's no nutritional value to it. Again, a lot of the things that sugar is put into, we're talking things like ice cream, it could be cookies, it can be candy and things like that. They have added sugars, very, very high in calories and unhealthy fats, guys. And again, it's going to be very, very negative. We see in studies just how negative that sugar and those types of foods are for our cholesterol levels, right? So things like I already mentioned, cake, even just adding sugar to your foods. A lot of people will do that. I'll have a lot of clients that will, have oatmeal, one of my favorite complex carbohydrates that I eat almost every single day. And I'll offer as, I never tell people they have to do something or they should should do something. But one thing people should think about if they are keeping carbohydrates in their diet, maybe add oatmeal into it, oats. They'll add sugar on top of it. That's one thing that we want to stay away from. Chena, thank you so much. New Mexico, very great. Okay, guys, let me catch up here just in chat. Thank you so much. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Chena Garbo, thank you so much. Chena, if it's not Chena, Shana, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. But New Mexico, it's great to have you here. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for coming in and saying hi. Soldier for God, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Maybe some new names here. I'm usually pretty good at remembering the names, but Soldier for God, thank you so much. Thank you for the information. It's greatly appreciated. Well, my pleasure, Soldier for God. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure, like I said, to be able to provide some of this information and to have a conversation about it. I think get the conversation rolling. But I appreciate you guys in here, and I appreciate everyone listening. So thank you so much, guys. Thanks for letting me know where you're listening from, Shayna. So again, guys, sugar. We see not only, our studies showing that this can have a negative effect on our cholesterols and overall heart health and risk and increasing heart disease and risk factors such as high LDL cholesterol, so your bad cholesterol. But don't forget, keep this in mind too, guys, with bad LDL cholesterol. So you guys will always see me put in videos bad LDL cholesterol, or even when we're discussing about it on our show, the Coach Nate show. We do need some LDL cholesterol in our body, all right? I'm not saying that we have to go to zero on LDL cholesterol. We just want healthy levels of LDL cholesterol and to stay away from LDL cholesterol oxidation. Okay, so we'll keep that in mind as well as we're talking. So we see that sugar can increase the risk of heart disease, high LDL cholesterol levels, LDL oxidation. But we also see that it can negatively affect in other ways that are associated with high cholesterol levels, and that's through weight gain over time, obesity, things of that nature, also diabetes, all right? And all of these things are going to be linked back to heart disease, all right? Obesity, diabetes, all of those things. So other chronic diseases. We have to make sure that we're staying away from sugar when it comes to lowering cholesterol, guys. Not only for our overall health, but, to lower those cholesterol levels for our our heart health as well. All right, so let's just make sure that we're trying to stay away as best we can from sugar. And I don't try to be preachy about it, but sugar is just one of those things, guys. I tell you, there's just no nutritional value. It's very addictive, very addictive. Just talking to hundreds of clients, like I've said in the past, just how addicting sugar is. And it's like that certain time of the day. It's like a drug. I'm telling you guys, it's really like a drug, because I hear so much when I'm doing consultations or intakes, or I'm starting up with a new client. We'll discuss their eating habits and things like that, just so I can get a good overview of it. But the way that they describe their sugar intake and the timing of it and how it happens habitually, usually, and how constant it is through their life, it's very similar to other drugs. At certain times, like 7 o'clock at night, they have that sugar craving, and they have to have something with sugar in it. So be careful with sugar. We know its consequences. We know its risk factors when it comes to increasing cholesterol levels, guys. So sugar would be the first one. Any desserts, of course, with high in sugar, anything high in sugar. It could be fruit juice, all right? So make sure that you're staying away and avoiding, all right, or limiting as best you can, sugar. The other one that I would say is fried foods, guys. Fried foods are going to be one of the worst things when it comes to overall cholesterol and lowering cholesterol. And the reason why is, yes, this is a high fat, absolutely high fat food. We see now, especially, this is an interesting one when I wrote it down, because right now there's a lot of almost like kind of carnival type stuff, or get-togethers, where I've been seeing on the news. They've been kind of going over these deep fried sort of places where you can get foods that are deep fried. It can be from anything from like chocolate bars to like pickles and things like that, ice cream, right? So it was interesting writing this one, and how popular fried foods are in our society right now. But it seems like at the end of the summer, we have all these sort of they're not parades, but they're sort of like get-togethers and things like that, almost like fair type stuff. So going to fairs. But we see how ingrained these fried foods are in our society as well, and into diets. And they're almost celebrated. And it can be if you're having it in moderation. The unfortunate thing is a lot of people are having them a little bit too often. And that's where this can, lead to issues with our cholesterol. All right. So fried foods, we know, one, not only very high in unhealthy fats, guys. So we know the unhealthy fats, saturated, unsaturated. So saturated and trans fats, of course, very unhealthy. But we also know very high in cholesterol. All right, and we should probably be avoiding fried foods. So deep fried foods, anything deep fried, as we should be avoiding those as often and whenever possible. So fried foods would be the next one, guys. We see in multiple studies, it was interesting when I was looking at it, not only, again, are fried foods sort of linked to an increase in high cholesterol levels, an unhealthy level of cholesterol, but again, an increased risk of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. All right, so very detrimental to our health and very detrimental to our overall cholesterol levels, guys. So fried food, and this is backed up in numerous studies. Whenever I bring up a study, it's usually having to do with multiple studies. A lot of the times there'll be a meta-analysis, which is great because it'll kind of condense a few studies together. But as I've talked to a couple clients on here that I've worked with, you got to be careful with those studies as well, because you got to look at the citations. You got to look at some of the things that they're citing. So you don't just want to look at the meta-analysis. You got to look at a couple of the other, research papers and some of the other studies that are coming along with that meta-analysis. But regardless, we'll save that for another talk. But we see multiple studies where fried foods on a high intake. So you can have it, if it's once a week and that's your, quote unquote cheat meal. I remember I always talk about the 90-10 rule. You 10% of the time You can be enjoying foods that are a little bit off your diet. And again, it just means the foods that you're eating. But we see in numerous studies that these fried foods are going to increase the risk of increasing your cholesterol levels to an unhealthy level, plus increasing the risk of heart disease, of course, connected with cholesterol there, but also with obesity and then again diabetes. So we just got to make sure that we're limiting sugar, trying to avoid sugar if we can, trying to limit and avoid fried foods. And I think if we're doing that, we're taking good steps in our diet to lower cholesterol, guys. Is sea moss a good way to get minerals? It's funny because I've heard a lot about sea moss lately, and its effectiveness. And there's lots of, when it comes to like sea moss and things like that, any algae and things like that. I've been hearing a lot about that as of late, and just its nutritional profile. And, the nutritional profile for me, it seems fairly good. I mean, you're not going to be having a huge dose of sea moss. So what I like to tell people, Soldier for God, is that it's very nutrient dense. You don't have to be eating a ton of it at one time in order to get the benefits of it, which is very nice. But the other great thing is, it's very nutrient dense. So you'll find things like iron. All right, iron is generally high in things like sea moss, magnesium, some zinc, some copper, a little bit of phosphorus. Sometimes you'll even get some good fiber. Also very no sugar to it, so it's nice, and no fat either. So kind of a nice little add-on in addition to our discussion here. But it's also low in calories, so it is a good way. You just want to make sure that you're having it in moderation. Of course, you don't need to have it in huge amounts. But yes, I'd say if you're having it in moderation, if you're adding it to your shakes or whatever it is, then yes, it is a good way to get some minerals. Now the next one, guys, of course, what we're going to want to be staying away from is processed meats. Okay, guys, so processed meats, very, very popular in today's society. And the reason for that is because we're such a go society right now. We're all very, very busy. And I hope that answered your question, Soldier for God, so in relation to sea moss. But, I needed to point out, and I thought it would be very beneficial to point out the things, if we're trying to lower cholesterol levels, all right, and have healthy cholesterol levels, the studies associated with processed meats, so think of your bacon and hot dogs and sausages and all that type of stuff, and cold cut meats and things like that, things that are really popular during the summer. And that's why I was kind of doing this sort of research before. But we see that not only, again, very, very low in nutrients, but again, high in unhealthy fats, but even more importantly, when it comes to cholesterol, these types of foods are high cholesterol foods and they aren't the healthy cholesterol foods like eggs that we'll talk about, which we want to be sticking to. So we need to make sure that we're avoiding or limiting processed foods as well. Again, there's been huge studies, all right, for individuals who ate processed meat, and it wasn't even a big serving. I think it was only like 1 or 2 ounces, but hundreds of thousands of participants in this very, very interesting study who ate processed meats regularly. It might have been per day or like 5 times per week, but we saw those individuals who did that, they had an over 40% higher chance of heart disease, and with that came an increase in cholesterol levels. So right there, a very, very good study. I mean, hundreds of thousands of participants. And on average, those individuals who were eating processed meat, over 40% higher risk of heart disease, which in turn, of course, a lot of that percentage are going to see a higher increase in total cholesterol levels as well. And again, also leading to LDL oxidation. So be careful with the processed meats, guys. And again, that can, when it comes to all those foods that I just mentioned, fried foods, desserts like sugars and processed meats, fast food, guys, is going to be one of the major risk factors these days for chronic conditions like heart disease, like increased cholesterol levels. Try to limit or avoid fast food if you can. Of course, it's very hard to say never eat fast food again, because of course we're going to probably do that at some point in our life. But we also need to make sure that we're not doing it too often. Try to keep it in moderation. Avoid or limit as best we can. It's going to do wonders for your blood sugar levels, wonders for your inflammation, for the amount of inflammation in the body. It's going to do wonders for your cholesterol levels, all right? We see numerous studies again, and again, I'm not just pulling this out of nowhere, but studies that show those individuals who, eat fast food multiple times a week have higher cholesterol than those individuals who don't, all right? And the one thing is, we see, yes, of course, an increased risk in heart disease, but increased risk specifically in high LDL cholesterol. All right, these fast foods obviously are putting us more at risk for having high LDL cholesterol. And again, that's your bad LDL, your bad cholesterol. So I'm not saying don't eat any cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, have zero LDL cholesterol in your body. Of course, we need some, but fast food is going to put that into that. It's going to cross that line where we're over, from the healthy to the unhealthy. So just be careful with fast food there, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who's come in. I see we have 13 thumbs up there, guys. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who's been coming in. Thank you to everyone who's been saying hi in chat. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're listening from. I know we have someone from New Mexico in here, which is always great to see. But thank you so much, guys. Now let me just go over, again, before we get into the foods you want to eat. Those are the foods you're gonna want to avoid, but we also have to make healthy lifestyle choices in order to have healthy cholesterol levels. All right, and healthy ways to lower cholesterol levels. I think that's an important distinction as well. If you have unhealthy cholesterol levels right now, well, some of the healthy ways that you can lower that. I mean, one unhealthy way is to a lot of people will go on very, very restrictive diets, which is just not healthy. So they'll kind of go on crash diets that they cannot keep up. But let's just go over some certain lifestyle changes that you can mix with your dietary changes that can reduce LDL cholesterols and kind of create a more favorable, and this is what we want to do, and this is sort of our goal and why we're chatting about it today, have a more favorable ratio between LDL cholesterol to HDL cholesterol. So your bad to good cholesterol. One, guys, is be physically active. Again, try to get that 150 minutes per week. I know that you hear me say that a lot, but there's a reason why. It constantly comes up. It doesn't matter if we're talking about diabetes last week or we're talking about lowering cholesterol level this week. And if we're talking about heart health or cognitive function, trying to get in 150 minutes of exercise or anything. Exercise can be going for a walk. Be more physically active. It's a great way to lower your cholesterol levels. Does it have to be high intensity aerobic exercise? So we call that HIIT, high intensity interval training. No, it does not. That might be seen in studies as some of the most effective ways to reduce LDL cholesterol. But just by getting out there for a walk, for a hike, for a swim, you can bike. If you want to go to the gym, you can do that, do resistance training. I've had clients on here who are listeners that I've worked with, one with their nutrition, but also helping set up a fitness routine, right? Getting into weight training, because it goes hand in hand, like I said, with your dietary changes, especially to reduce LDL cholesterol levels. And thank you for hitting that thumbs up button, guys. I appreciate it so much. Annika, thank you so much. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not sure if it's Anika or Annika. I think it might be Anika. Thank you so much. Dutch Caribbean. Well, thank you so much. Hi. Thank you. I can't pronounce where that's from. I just tried in my head and did not go well. So I see Dutch Caribbean though. Thank you so much, Anika. I really appreciate having you here, and thank you so much for letting me know where you're listening from. I love hearing that. Again, we have individuals all around the world. It's great having everyone come in, having the community coming in and talking about our overall health from all over the world. So thank you so much, Anika. I really appreciate it, and I hope you're having a wonderful day as well. So guys, the first one, again, healthy ways to lower cholesterol levels. We talked about the foods we want to avoid, the lifestyle changes that we can make, increase physical activity. We see that in studies just how important that is. Evidence-based ways to lower cholesterol levels, increase physical activity. Another one is lose weight. So if we're dealing with obesity or if we're overweight right now, and again, of course, like I say, time, it can be a hard discussion, but that I work with individuals every single day. I'm working with individuals, and usually 95% of the time, who want to lose weight or make some sort of body composition changes. So lose body fat, put on a little bit of muscle. But losing weight, body weight, one of the best ways to lower cholesterol levels. Right? Can reduce LDL cholesterol while also increasing HDL cholesterol. So reduce bad cholesterol and increase good cholesterol, which again is going to be great for our cholesterol levels, but also great for our overall health. All right, so losing weight is also very, very important, and that's where the physical activity and kind of comes in play as well, because it can help you get into that calorie deficit so you can actually lose weight. The also thing that we want to do, guys, is try to cut back on things like smoking and drinking. All right, those can significantly increase LDL cholesterol levels. All right, so if you smoke or if you drink in excess, then we see in studies how that can significantly. We see it's interesting in the studies. We see those individuals who smoke, who are smokers. So can be a pack a day. I think it was a pack a day in the study. It might have even been less. It was lower than I had thought. It was either half a pack to a pack a day, and we also saw individual heavy drinkers. All right, those individuals who were drinking 5-6 times a week, we saw when they cut back that they saw a significant reduction in LDL cholesterol levels. All right, we also saw that smoking raises LDL cholesterol levels, and also, of course, is going to increase your risk greatly for heart disease. All right, guys, so try it if you can, and I know it's hard. It's very, very easy for me here to just sit here and on the show just say, if you're drinking 5 times a week, well, stop drinking, or if you smoke, just quit smoking. I know it's very tough. I know even just saying with the sugars, try to avoid sugars, I know that's very tough. But let's just keep in mind, if we have high cholesterol, unhealthy cholesterol, or we have heart disease or anything like that, we have to make sure that we're cognizant of the habits and of the diet that we're consuming and changes that we can make to that diet and into our lifestyle that can help bring us in the right direction. All right, so today's discussion is particularly focused on lowering cholesterol, and we see that if you're eating excess sugar, if you're smoking, if you're drinking in excess, all right, so nothing in moderation here, we know that can increase LDL cholesterol, so bad LDL cholesterol. It's going to throw off our ratio, our favorable ratio. Remember, that's what we wanted, a good ratio of LDL cholesterol to HDL cholesterol. Because remember, we want that good ratio because, as I've mentioned twice now, we want some LDL cholesterol in our body. We need some LDL cholesterol. We can't put bad LDL cholesterol to 0. That's unhealthy, right? We want it at healthy levels. So just keep that in mind, guys. And then the other thing that I would say, in addition to physical activity or losing weight or cutting back on smoking, on drinking, on sugars if we're just having too much. And again, I know that's tough. But again, another thing that I would suggest to you guys, and we'll talk about this about foods we eat, is to have more fiber. Think about fiber in our diet. I like to consider fiber as one of the forgotten nutrients, right? So we'll talk a lot about healthy fats. We'll talk about carbohydrates. We'll talk about healthy proteins, right? Fiber is very, very just as important as any of those other nutrients are, all right? And probably should be talked about more. With fiber, we've seen in studies, research is showing that when we eat more fiber, especially soluble fiber, which is interesting. So soluble, this is why I love, remember I brought up oatmeal, all right, oats before, packed with soluble fiber, all right, other things like beans, legumes, and we'll get into all of this when we talk about the foods that we want to eat. But packed with soluble fiber, it has the ability to help reduce bad LDL cholesterol levels specifically. So having good levels of fiber in our diet, we see the research shows, these studies are showing that if we have good fiber, especially soluble fiber, right, beans, oatmeal, those are usually the ones that I like recommending and that I enjoy. So I'm just remembering them off the top of my head. That we see that those have the ability to help reduce bad LDL cholesterol levels specifically. So keep that in mind. We'll talk about that in our food discussion here, which we are going to get to now. So I think that's going to be this is going to be very informative. I want to make sure if anyone has questions, just like on any other show, guys, just, you feel free to ask, do not be scared to ask your questions. If it's related to nutrition, if it's related to fitness, I'm more than happy to answer. If you like to just listen, that's more than fine as well. But you can ask your questions. Again, just keep them to nutrition. We'll keep them to fitness or anything else. I'm always happy to help. And thank you for the thumbs up, guys. I see we're almost at 20 thumbs up there. Very, very much appreciate it. Again, so let's talk a little bit about now. We've talked about the foods that we want to avoid. We talked about lifestyle changes. Let's talk a little bit now about the foods that we're going to want to eat to help lower cholesterol levels. All right. I think that's what most people here have come for. But again, they all go hand in hand. Yes, I can give you all the foods to add to your diet to help lower cholesterol. But if you're eating tons of sugar, if you're eating fast food, and if we're obese and we're not particularly getting much exercise or eating much fiber, none of these I could give you all of these foods. They're probably not going to do much to lower your total cholesterol levels, guys. So it all goes hand in hand. There's a reason why we have to talk about all of them. Okay. So, these foods, why particularly I'm going to talk about these foods is one, right? Like I said, heart disease is one of the world's leading causes of death today. I think it is the leading cause. I think before the number that I gave out, individuals, I think it's up to around 33%, or at least almost 33%. It might have been 25%, now 30%, and we're inching closer and closer to 1/3 of the world having some form of heart disease related issue, but also heart disease in general. Could be high cholesterol, high blood pressure, any number of reasons. Okay, one of them, of course, being high cholesterol levels, especially bad LDL cholesterol. Bad LDL cholesterol specifically linked to an increased risk of heart disease. Remember, though, we still don't want LDL cholesterol at 0. We need some. We just don't want high cholesterol levels, especially bad LDL cholesterol. Thalma, good morning. I'm a little late to the party. That's all right. Better late than never, right? Thalma, thank you so much for joining this morning. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming in and saying good morning and leaving your message there. I very much appreciate it. And it's great to see you. Great to see you. Great to talk to you. Islan, sorry if I'm pronouncing these names wrong. I'll say Islan, thank you for your question. What about our heart? Could you tell us more to have a good heart? Thanks. Well, it's a very interesting question. I think taking from today, you're going to find if you want to have a good heart, if you want to have good heart health, everything that I've just mentioned, literally even the foods that I've mentioned to avoid, because all of those foods are associated with heart disease, with diabetes, obesity, which are bad for our heart health. All of the lifestyle changes that I mentioned, being physically active, losing weight, eating more fiber, all of that is great for overall heart health. So I think right now, up until this point, everything that really we've mentioned the cutting out bad habits like smoking, drinking in excess, having those sugars, that is going to be great for your overall heart health. Why? Because yes, it can help to lower cholesterol levels, but it's also going to, strengthen the heart, so improve overall heart health, right? And then 2, help with losing weight, which is huge for overall heart health. Plus, again, it's those foods that we talked about before that we want to avoid. We need to make sure we're avoiding them. 1, they're very, very low in nutrients, right, which is not good for heart health, all right? And the foods that we're about to talk about are 1, high in fiber, very heart healthy. As I mentioned before, we want to add that soluble fiber, great for heart health, great for lowering cholesterol. Right? Now these foods here are going to be great for lowering cholesterol, which is going to overall be great for our heart. So it's kind of nice how it works like that. And again, heart health is one of those things that is just huge for me. All right, heart disease, as I just mentioned, is the world's leading cause of death. I think it's almost, like I said, it's 30% or 33% of the world's population has some sort of risk factor related to heart disease, from high cholesterol levels to high blood pressure. So I hope we'll get a little bit of sense of that, Islan, as we start to continue our talk here. Pamela, good morning. Thank you so much for coming in. Always great to see you guys. Thank you for everyone coming in now, saying hi, saying good morning. It's great to have you all in here as we continue our chat. If you missed a little bit earlier, we've talked about foods that we want to avoid, some lifestyle changes we want to make, and now we're going to be talking about foods that we want to eat to help lower cholesterol. But Pamela, good morning to you. Thank you so much for coming in and for listening. I really appreciate it, guys. Now, the other good thing about with these foods is, it's going to help increase and create that favorable LDL to HDL cholesterol level, right? Because, HDL cholesterol, the good HDL cholesterol, all right, very, very important, all right? If we're low in good HDL cholesterol and high in bad LDL cholesterol, right, we see an increased risk of heart disease right there. So there's some more heart health related information. All right. But know this, guys, the power that diet and lifestyle change, especially diet, because that's what we're specifically here to talk about. But know the power that diet choices. So, and when I say diet, I don't mean trying to lose weight right now. Right? Diet, the definition of diet has been flipped around, and people think whenever I say diet, you have to be in a calorie deficit, but diet just means what we eat on a day-to-day basis, right? We're going to see the power that our diet choices have on things, and how on our overall health, and on just how powerful they can be and how much they can affect our cholesterol levels. So let's start with our first one, and I think one of the ones, and one of the more popular ones, and one that we can easily add to our diet, and very, very underappreciated. I know that there's been a little bit of a boom in it, in its popularity, but avocados. Avocados are great to help lower cholesterol levels, guys. Avocados are a great, great food choice. One, we know, and you guys have heard me talk about avocados, how much I love them for their monounsaturated fats in particular. So avocados, yes, a fruit, but very, very, most of its calories do come from healthy fats, most of that being monounsaturated fats. But avocados are great for lowering cholesterol levels, guys. All right, great for lowering cholesterol levels. They're very, very nutrient dense, which is amazing. We want those nutrients, and they're very, very high in potassium specifically, which is great for heart health. All right, now the great thing is that yes, they're rich in monounsaturated fats. Most of their fats are coming from monounsaturated fats. We also know that they're a great source of fiber, very underrated for their fiber levels. And you've heard me talk about fiber already. These two nutrients, so monounsaturated fats and fiber, we see in studies, multiple studies, help to lower bad LDL cholesterol and raise. So we get and when we get this combo, we know we're on the right track for a good food choice to lower cholesterol levels and to improve overall cholesterol, have healthy cholesterol in the body. Because not a lot of foods do this. Avocados will help to lower bad LDL cholesterol and raise good HDL cholesterol. So we get the double whammy there. That's going to think back to our favorable ratio of LDL cholesterol to HDL cholesterol. Avocados can help us achieve that. All right. There's been a ton of clinical studies that support cholesterol lowering effects of avocados, all right, which is amazing. So we know if we want to lower cholesterol, avocados is a great choice, backed up by numerous studies out there. Right, and the other great thing is that we saw in numerous studies, multiple studies, guys, that when avocados were consumed, we saw not only a lowering of total cholesterol, right? So if you have high cholesterol levels, we see a lowering of total cholesterol. So total cholesterol being the first. LDL cholesterol being the second, very, very important, but also triglycerides, another heart healthy tidbit in there for you, a piece of information in there for you. So avocados, an exceptional food choice when it comes to lowering cholesterol levels, as we can see there. And we get that double whammy, which is great. When you can get something lowering LDL cholesterol, not removing, again, we don't want to totally remove LDL cholesterol, but lowering to healthy levels your LDL cholesterol and increasing to healthy levels your good HDL cholesterol. That's perfect. That's what we're shooting for, and that's why I'm starting with avocados as being one of the most important foods to eat. Now, avocados are great. I know it's super popular right now. A lot of individuals, I'll have avocados from time to time. I'll usually put them in my smoothie, but a lot of people have them with toast and things like that. So it's fairly easy to get into your diet, and I know a lot of people enjoy them. Just make sure you keep it in moderation, guys. Of course, as I always say, anything that's high in fat is going to be high in calories as well. But the nice thing is you don't have to have you don't have to have like 2 or 3 avocados to see these great effects. You can have half an avocado. Sometimes I'll have a quarter of one. As long as you're eating it consistently, you'll see these benefits, guys. So avocados, very, very important. So avocados, I would think about maybe starting there. A lot of people enjoy them, easy to add to your diet. You can add them to salads, you can add them to smoothies, you can put them on toast. People love that. I've never tried it, but tons of my clients do it. I've seen tons of recipes out there. Avocado and toast, super, super popular right now. Is cheese also bad for our health? Well, Anika, interesting question. Let me just quickly say something about that, because that does relate a little bit to cholesterol. A lot of high fat dairy products like cheese are going to be higher in cholesterol and usually higher in LDL cholesterol. So is cheese bad for your health? In moderation, maybe if you're having it once a week in moderation, is it bad for your health? No, definitely, probably not. You're probably okay. But if you're eating, a lot of cheese, which is high in calories, which is high in saturated fat, right? If it's full fat cheese, that 42%, all right, you can see it right on the label. All right, take a look at how much fat is in it. A lot of people will come to me thinking it's a protein source, but if you look at how much fat is in it, and it's a very small piece of the cheese, it's funny because they'll see the label. It's like talking about like an inch. If you cut off an inch of the brick of cheese, very, very high in fat. Most of that fat coming from saturated fat, some from trans fats. The nutrition is okay in cheese. A lot of people see that cheese right now is very, very popular because a lot of people are on keto, like ketogenic diet, so they want that full fat cheese. They want the high fat, protein, and then zero carbs. Is it bad for your health? Just depends if you're having it in moderation or not. If you're having it like in anything in excess, you just got to be careful, because if you're eating a lot of high fat cheese, you're getting a lot of calories in, you're getting a lot of saturated fat in, and if you're getting a lot of those calories in, that's going to put you at risk for obesity, because you're going to be having a calorie surplus. All right, and whenever you're in a calorie surplus, that's when you're going to be gaining weight. And we see already how obesity can be damaging not only to our overall health, our heart health, but also how it can increase cholesterol. So I would try to keep it in moderation as best you can. Is it bad for your health? Well, if you're having it in moderation, probably not. If you're having it really, really often, and a lot of people will pair it with wine. I've had most of my clients, whenever they talk about cheese, it's the wine usually comes with it. I know that might not be your case. I'm just kind of throwing that out there on my own experience. But, just try to make sure you're having it in moderation for those reasons. Again, I'm not super impressed with its nutritional profile, like it's the amount of fiber in it. Yes, it'll have calcium and stuff like that, but anything else, it's a little bit devoid of. Hope that helps answer your question. Angela, great to see you, Angela. How you doing? Thank you so much for coming in here. Good morning, everyone. It's been a long time on here live. Yes, it has been. Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth, Angela. Thank you so much. It's been a while. We're back on number 3, though, here, Angela. Every Sunday morning, as I was kind of mentioning at the beginning there. But you're right. It had been a little while. We're back on track now. I'm going to continue with these, with our show here, continue with the podcast. So thank you so much, Angela. It's great to see you, longtime supporter. Thank you so much. So forgot. I live in Denver, Colorado. In Colorado. It's so hard to find non-GMO foods. Yes, it is in a lot of areas, I have to say. Where do you shop? And again, thank you so much for all of the great information. Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. So where do I shop? That's a very interesting question. A lot of people will think I only shop at health food stores. I shop a lot. I will go to some certain health food stores. We have a few here up here in Canada that are specifically, health food stores. But the bulk of my my shopping is at your regular grocery stores. They do have sort of a healthy section. I don't even remember what it's called right off the top of my head. But there's sort of a healthy section there, and I'll go and spend a lot of time in that section. But most of my shopping is just done at a regular grocery store, guys. I do, or I have, now I kind of already know, I'm fortunate enough to know, but I do a lot of label reading. I'm able, in certain areas of those just regular grocery stores, I try to find non-GMO, and I can do a pretty good job of it now that I know what I'm looking for. But again, it can be tough. What I would recommend is the health food stores. Yes, they're very, very helpful in finding non-GMO. It's going to be a little more expensive, but that's a great way to find non-GMO. If you read the label and you have certain areas of your grocery store which is kind of more health conscious, that's a great start. And then, just be careful if you're going to like food markets and things like that. So outside markets, farmers will come in and they'll bring their crops and stuff like that. Again, just be careful. Usually they'll tell you if it's non-GMO. We just have to make sure. We don't know 100% of the time if it's really non-GMO or not. A lot of the times people are really good, and if you can form good relationships with some of the people there, then you can, get a little bit of more insight on that. But I'm not trying to accuse anyone of saying that, their food is non-GMO and it's actually GMO. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but it's just very hard to distinguish between, non-GMO and GMO foods. But if you can, make some friends at like your outdoor markets where they come in and bring fresh vegetables and fruits and things like that, there are people who will be catering to the non-GMO crowd. And those are the people who you would like to befriend and sort of make a little bit of a relationship with, so that you kind of have a little bit of more insight and you can kind of get that heads up on the non-GMO foods. So to keep it simple, a lot of mine is done. I will go to those markets. A lot of times now I'm not. It's at regular grocery stores where I'm looking for specifically non-GMO, a lot of label reading, and then I'll stick to the sort of health food sections of those grocery stores or go to specific health food stores from time to time. I hope that helped answer your question. It wasn't too long-winded, but that's where I shop. Nothing too spectacular. If you're reading the labels, guys, and you kind of know where to look, then it makes it a lot easier, at least for myself. Now, the next food that we're going to want to add to our diet to lower cholesterol, and thank you so much, everyone, for your questions and for coming in and saying hi. I really appreciate it. The next food, in addition to avocados, we have healthy nut varieties. You guys know my favorites, all right? I made sure to do specific research on this. Walnuts and almonds, and I always say that if people will always ask if I had to choose two nut varieties, which two would I choose? It's always going to be walnuts and almonds, just because of their specific health benefits and also their nutritional profile. I love that walnuts have omega-3 fatty acids in them. But almonds and walnuts, let's talk specifically about those, because I could just say certain nut varieties, but that could be anything. Pistachios, macadamia nuts, Brazilian nuts, none of those are bad, but if we want the best, walnuts and almonds seem to be, through studies, to be the best ones to lower cholesterol levels. So I would try to stick with those. We know that these two nut varieties, almonds and walnuts, are very high in monounsaturated fats, specifically like avocados, which can help to lower LDL cholesterol, which is great. We also know that walnuts are rich in a plant variety of omega-3 fatty acids, which is not common at all. Usually for omega-3s, you have to have fatty fish or take some sort of fish oil supplement, and that's going to be a healthy fat, very much associated with heart health again and lowering total cholesterol levels. So I would try to stick with, your almonds, your walnuts, great for overall heart health. They have magnesium, they have potassium, which is very, very heart healthy, great for lowering cholesterol. The other great thing about walnuts and almonds, guys, is that they provide what we call phytosterols. So these are plant compounds, right? And interestingly enough, phytosterols, these plant compounds are very similar structurally to cholesterol, and they can help lower cholesterol basically by blocking its absorption in your intestines, which is amazing. So almonds and walnuts specifically, which most nuts will have, but almonds and walnuts very high in phytosterol compounds, all right, which again can help lower cholesterol by blocking cholesterol absorption in the intestines. Now, this is specifically very, very important for those individuals who are high in cholesterol levels, right, who are trying to lower total cholesterol. Not, again, also favorable for those individuals because we see a decrease in bad LDL cholesterol, which again is going to be great for creating that favorable LDL to HDL cholesterol outcome that we want. Guys, thank you so much for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. We're at 23, almost my lucky number there, so I just had to point that out. But thank you so much. Hope you guys are getting great value from the discussion so far. So with that, again, you can add fatty fish in there as well. All right, so we're talking a little bit about fat sources to begin with, but things like salmon, mackerel. All right, mackerel is one of the ones that I've really picked up over the last year or two. All right, being excellent fish choices. All right, just because of its great source of omega-3 fatty acids. We know that omega-3s are super important. Remember, I've said this for quite a while now. People will always ask me about supplements and which supplements they should be taking. A lot of the times it has to do with the gym, and people think that they have to get on 10 different supplements at the gym or start their fitness journey or start their nutritional journey. I always say, if you're going to start off with supplements, and supplements are fine. I take vitamins, I take fish oil, and things like that. I don't want to give them away because these are the ones I'm going to mention. But if you're going to take, and by the way, I've created a recommended, my recommended essentials for clients to improve their health and stay motivated list on Amazon. Some of this is listed on there, guys. And, it's exactly what I'm saying in my chats. All right. So if you want to give back a little bit to the channel and use that Amazon link, which is in the description, it's greatly appreciated. I see people have been clicking on there already. So thank you so much to everyone who's done that. But there are some heart healthy things in there, some supplements. But I always say, if you're going to take supplements, you don't have to start out with 10 or anything like that. All right. A good fish oil is great, a probiotic, and a multivitamin. If you start with those three, then you are doing a tremendous service to your overall health. Okay, so starting with those three, great. You got your nutrients, you got your healthy fats, and you have your probiotic. Now we know omega-3s can help to increase good HDL cholesterol, which is amazing. All right, HDL cholesterol, great for our overall health and help provide, that great favorable ratio between LDL cholesterol and HDL cholesterol. We also know, right, that fatty fish, right, has a lot of benefits to our overall health. One being the lowering of LDL cholesterol, but the other one of decreasing your risk of heart disease and stroke. So omega-3s, very, very, very important. And again, if you want to lower cholesterol, right, and the great thing with fatty fish, again, you get the lowering of total cholesterol, of increasing good HDL cholesterol, and decreasing bad LDL cholesterol, which again is that double whammy which we're looking for. All right, we also know, again, when it comes to heart health, can reduce blood pressure, all right, decrease the risk of developing metabolic syndrome. What were some of the other ones? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Lower the risk of stroke, all right, significantly. All right, so it's not like a 2% lowering. It's like a 25% lowering of stroke. So fatty fish is going to be great. The other ones, you guys have heard me say oats already, but whole grains, especially oats. I would go to oats every single time. People ask me about carbohydrates, all right, and about keto and things like that. I couldn't stay on keto. I love oatmeal. And oatmeal is very, very healthy for us. Of course, if we're keeping it in moderation, it's going to be a great food choice for us, right? It contains, and there's been tens and tens of studies that have been linked to individuals who have whole grains like oatmeal, like oats, lowering their risk of heart disease, all right, and lowering particularly bad LDL cholesterol. Let's talk about oatmeal for a second. All right, I could talk about oatmeal all day. I could do a whole show just on oatmeal. I think at this point, should do some recipes for you guys. Maybe some recipe videos, some oatmeal recipes, because I have quite a few. Right, but whole grains, yes, gonna promote heart health. But when it comes to cholesterol, if we want to lower cholesterol, here's the thing: oatmeal contains beta-glucan, all right? And beta-glucan, again, is a soluble fiber, and we love soluble fiber. We talked about soluble fiber specifically a little bit earlier. But soluble fiber helps to lower cholesterol levels overall. Not only will it lower total cholesterol, all right, in a fairly significant way, but it will also lower bad LDL cholesterol, right? Just by eating oatmeal. Again, we also, and again, it contains that beta-glucan, and that's sort of your type of fiber that's going to be a little bit tougher to find. All right, it's not contained in all whole grains. It's not contained in a lot of other foods. So beta-glucan specifically, is going to be the one that you're looking for. Barley is another one that's very usually mentioned. I haven't done a ton of research on barley. I do know that it can be beneficial, and I do know that it does have beta-glucan, but I can say for sure that, if you're looking to lower cholesterol, oats and oatmeal is going to be great. tons of vitamins, tons of minerals, tons of fiber, plant compounds, antioxidants. It's a complex carbohydrate, so you're not going to get that spike in blood glucose and blood sugar like you will with other carbohydrates. So I love oatmeal. Here's an interesting question. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with chat. Angela, I choose wild caught over farm raised salmon any day. Excellent. Interesting, Angela. Yes, it's very, very popular these days, I would say. Wild caught over farm raised. That wasn't the case like 15 years ago. It's interesting you mentioned that. Good morning from Louisville, Kentucky. Well, thank you, Valencia. Thank you so much. Does tea lower bad cholesterol? And very interesting question. Here's what I will say. One of the things that we can add to the list is green tea. All right, so one of the best drinks that you can have to improve cholesterol level is going to be green tea. So let's add that to the list. We can just add that one in right now, guys. Green tea is on the list. So thank you for asking that question, Valencia. But green tea can help to lower bad cholesterol, so bad LDL cholesterol, right? Green tea, and this is the reason why, is green tea contains catechins, all right? Catechins and other antioxidant compounds. And those catechins, all right, and antioxidants, it's packed with antioxidant compounds, we've seen in studies, seem to help lower bad LDL cholesterol specifically and total cholesterol. But you asked, your question was related to bad LDL cholesterol. The studies point to that, yes, green tea can help to lower bad LDL cholesterol. All right. There's also a compound, EGCG. How I try to pronounce the actual word of it, but I just don't have it today. Usually I can remember it off the top of my head, but it's very, very long. But EGCG is the short form of it. And again, that's going to be beneficial for lowering bad LDL cholesterol levels significantly, guys. So it's a great question from Valencia and why I have green tea on the list. Right? Yes, you have to drink it fairly regularly. That's the thing with tea, and it's not hard to. I have tea very often, green tea usually, to be honest. But yes, green tea can help to lower bad LDL cholesterol and total cholesterol. We don't see so much getting the boost in the HDL cholesterol, but that's okay. It's going to have a positive impact on cholesterol levels, especially with lowering total cholesterols and specifically bad LDL cholesterol. We know caffeine can help to raise HDL cholesterol, so maybe you can get a little bit of a bump in HDL cholesterol. Not a ton of caffeine in green tea, but more than other, your herbal teas. I'll say another one just off the top of my head that I can remember. We have green tea. Black tea can also have a positive effect on cholesterol. Not as much, I don't think, as green tea. Green tea would be your best choice. But black tea can also provide some benefits. It's also a little bit higher in caffeine, so you might get a little bit of bump with that HDL cholesterol. But I would say black tea can help just because of catechins and antioxidants that are in black tea as well. But green tea is like the king. So I hope that helped answer your question, Valencia. Thank you for asking. Oh, I'm way backed up on comments here. Overnight oats, yeah. Oh, a lot of oatmeal fans and the oatmeal gang, yeah. The oatmeal gang, that may have to be a thing, Thelma. It really is. If anyone was going to lead or be in charge of the oatmeal crew, it would definitely be me. I'm like 20 years oatmeal consistently. But I just love it. And you can add so much healthy things to it, like apples and cinnamon or bananas and chia seeds, like was mentioned there, which is great. Awesome combination. What about a combination of gluten-free? Sorry, Anika, if you could just I'm not quite exactly sure what the question. I'm trying to understand the question there. What about a combination of gluten-free? So gluten-free foods that could help with cholesterol might be your question. Sorry, I'm not quite getting it. Yes, fresh ginger and with green tea. You know what? I have ginger and green tea almost every day, Angela. It's one of my favorites. I'll have some sort of ginger tea and then green tea, and then sometimes I'll have them both together. They're both amazing. Now I'm going to get into a couple more foods here, guys. Again, thank you so much for all of the support. Again, big shout out to our Fit Team members. I haven't seen anyone in chat who as our Fit Team, but I know you guys are here. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Those individuals who joined the Fit Team member, clicked the join button and joined. Thank you to my the super chatters. So those individuals who donated so graciously through the super chat function, and they always seem to do it as we're going off stream. So I just want to make sure I'm saying it right now live on mic, thanking you guys, because I don't always get a chance to. So thank you again to the super chatters, and again thank you for those individuals who have checked out the Amazon link. I think you guys, if it's just right in the description below, my recommended essentials, hundreds of products in there, and it took me hours to create that list. I'll just quickly mention, it took me literally hours looking over that list of things that I wanted to put in there. I knew the types of stuff I didn't put in. I don't think that I did, and if I did, it was very small, any gym equipment or anything there. But you won't find things like a treadmill or anything like that. It's essentials, things that you can start off with small. I like journals, like food journals, workout journals that are in there, nice water bottles that people are going to be able to bring around with them to help with the hydration. You'll find everything in there, and good ways to get you started. Certain vitamins and minerals, probiotics. I think it's a great, if you're going to, be purchasing off there, if you could go through that link, I would greatly appreciate it. It's a great way to support the channel. But again, it took me hours to come up with that list. Again, I could have added more maybe, but I think going any more than that would have just been a little bit too much and a little bit too daunting. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Big shout out to everyone listening right now, everyone who's come in, everyone who's gave a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Big shout out to the Fit Team members. Big shout out to the people who have super chatted, again, who always seem to do it when I go offline. A big thank you to the super chatters, and a big thank you to everyone who's checked out that Amazon link. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it, and I hope you're getting a lot of value from today's chat. Now, next, let's go into some fruits, because I know people love their fruit. Some of the best fruits to lower cholesterol levels, guys, are going to be, and you guys know I love these, I talked about it last week, are going to be berries. If you're trying to increase your overall health, berries are going to be particularly important, especially when it comes to cholesterol levels. A lot of fruits, such as berries, contain soluble fiber, like blueberries, great source of soluble fiber. Strawberries, all right, an amazing source of soluble fiber. Like strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. Those are my 4 that I always tell people, if you're going to add some fruit to your diet, go ahead and add those, because you cannot go wrong with any of those berries. They are amazing. They're also very high in nutrition, and we see eating berries and things that are, and fruits that are not only high in soluble fiber, but also pectin, all right, another form of fiber, soluble fiber, all right, we see that can help lower cholesterol significantly, up to about 10%, which is fairly significant, guys, just by eating fruit, by eating berries, all right. Again, you're going to find pectin in strawberries, so berries, but a lot of the times in apples. That's why I always say, if my top is going to be berries, those 4 that I mentioned, or it's going to be apples, pears, or some sort of citrus fruit like grapefruit. Those are always my favorite fruits to let people know about and to discuss and to have myself, to be honest. Mary, good morning. Great to see you in chat. Sorry you're late. Just got back from a walk. Oh, no problem. Hey, you're taking care of your health, Mary. No problem at all. And I was just mentioning, Mary, our Fit for Life team members. Thank you so much, Mary. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. I hope you had a great walk, and it's great to have you in chat as always and to have your support. Thank you. But again, we see that those fruits, guys, lower cholesterol up to 10% when you get that mix of soluble fiber and pectin. Fruit also contains very, very important bioactive compounds that can help to reduce chronic diseases. Why? Because they're full of antioxidants and they have anti-inflammatory effects. Now, when it comes to cholesterol, berries like blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, the list goes on. Some of the ones I mentioned before, the citrus fruits, high in plant compounds, guys. So again, the best thing, and this is what I love, is you get that great, that 1-2 kind of combination. The increase in good HDL cholesterol and lowering the bad LDL cholesterol. So you get that better LDL to HDL ratio. Again, we don't want LDL to go to 0. We just want it at healthy levels, all right? Yes, we call it the bad cholesterol, but we need some in order to stay healthy. Now, the other one that, if we're going to talk about foods that we want to add, of course, you're going to have the other thing that I forgot to mention, just thinking about antioxidants with the berries, with tea, you're also going to have quercetin in it. So I mentioned the catechins, but you're also going to have quercetin in green tea, and again, a little bit even in that black tea as well. And quercetin is great. I love it. I have it in a vitamin C supplement that I take. And again, quercetin we see in studies, the association with lowering total and bad LDL cholesterol. So quercetin as well. Of course, guys, you're going to want dark leafy green vegetables. So vegetables, very, very important. You can't go wrong. I think that speaks for itself. Vegetables, again, you're getting your fiber, you're getting all your antioxidants, your vitamins, your minerals. Eggplant seems to be one of the better ones, guys. It's pectin rich, so you got that soluble fiber, that sort of unique soluble fiber, which is going to help lower cholesterol. Okra also, I see, is quite common and a good choice to lower total cholesterol. Valencia, my pleasure. Thank you so much. I'll drink it a couple times a day now. Oh, great. My pleasure, Valencia. You're very, very welcome. And that's why I like doing these shows, having my show here, because I can answer questions in real time. And then now, Valencia, now you know, green tea, black tea to a certain extent can help with lowering bad LDL cholesterol. So thank you for asking that question. Again, like I said, guys, dark leafy green vegetables, some that we don't think about. I'll give you okra and I'll give you eggplant. Seem to be very, very good for lowering cholesterol levels. Of course, you cannot go wrong with our dark leafy green vegetables, ones that contain lutein and other carotenoid antioxidants, which can lower not only heart disease, but cholesterol levels as well. Here we're talking, of course, about broccoli, kale, spinach, all of the dark leafy green vegetables you guys have heard me talk about a ton. The thing I love about dark leafy green vegetables, and I have mentioned a little bit about bad LDL cholesterol oxidation, which we want to stay away from, but there has been studies that show that lutein, again, which kale, spinach is going to be high in, is going to be able to lower levels of oxidized bad LDL cholesterol, and can also help prevent cholesterol from binding, so build up to artery walls, so increasing heart health overall tremendously. So I love vegetables, of course. Dark leafy green vegetables are amazing. I'd say if you're going to use any cooking oils, I'd stick with extra virgin olive oil. Why? Again, it goes back to the monounsaturated fatty acids. All right, olive oil is a rich source of monounsaturated fatty acids, much like avocados are, very much like almonds and walnuts are as well. But we see that olive oil specifically, any cooking oils or anything like that, can help, again, gives us that great 1-2 combination of raising good HDL cholesterol and reducing bad LDL cholesterol. A little bit of a reduction, of course, in total cholesterol levels, but it's very, very we see it most prominent and it's most beneficial for lowering cholesterol levels with that lowering of bad LDL cholesterol, but also great with increasing good HDL cholesterol. Plus, it's going to decrease heart health. Increase heart health because it's going to decrease inflammation. One of the better anti-inflammatories out there. So increase heart health, not decrease heart health, of course. So those are great foods, guys. Last one, off the top of my head, I'm going to give you one more. I'm trying to think of one more not on my list. I always like to challenge myself. I think if I was going to give one more, then things like beans and legumes, so beans, lentils, I think are going to be great for lowering cholesterol, guys. The fiber is just amazing in legumes. So like any type of bean variety, could be black beans, kidney beans, tremendous. Lentils are tremendous. Why are legumes so good? Well, great minerals. So we already know that they have tons of nutrition. Like, look at the nutrition in black beans, guys. It's off the charts. Great source of potassium and especially magnesium, which is very heart healthy. But we also have some fiber as well, and some soluble fiber, which of course is great for lowering bad LDL cholesterol. And we've seen this in numerous studies, guys. Those individuals who, and it's again not just one or two, but tens of studies. Those individuals who ate legumes, so beans or lentils, things like that, peas sometimes thrown in there in some of these studies that I've seen. When they ate these legumes regularly, they saw the effect of lowering bad LDL cholesterol. All right. So we can see legumes, I know legumes are going to be helpful if you're trying to lower LDL cholesterol, total cholesterol. It's just so good in soluble fiber and nutrition. And you guys know through this talk how important fiber is, soluble fibers specifically. You guys heard me mention that quite a bit. So that's our discussion on lowering cholesterol, guys. I hope you were able to get a lot from this discussion. We went over again. I was trying to keep it to an hour, but we went 82. It's going to be about an hour and a half. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. If you came in late, I would listen to the beginning because it's going to be foods you avoid and some lifestyle changes that are going to be almost essential to add if you're going to be adding these types of foods to your diet to lower cholesterol. If you're not staying away from certain foods like the processed foods, the fast foods, the sugars, the high sodium foods, if you're smoking, if you're drinking in excess, if you're not getting your exercise, if you're dealing with obesity, if you're not making those changes, then adding these foods are going to do very, very little for lowering your overall cholesterol levels, guys. So if you missed that part, I would go back and listen to that because there were some interesting things in there that I think you could really take away and can use to your benefit in lowering your total cholesterol levels. Again, a big shout out to everyone in here for coming out. Angela, my pleasure. Thank you so much, Angela, for coming in. So much. Very informative. Well, I'm glad that you found it informative. I hope everyone found today's chat to be informative. I hope everyone learned something. It's great to be able to talk with you guys. I love the live show format. I mean, I can answer your questions, and it's great to be able to talk one-on-one with you guys. So, big shout out to everyone who was in here today. For everyone from Shayna, Soldier of God, Anika, Thalma, Isla, Pamela, Angela, Mary coming in here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. I apologize. I can't scroll up. So, Valencia, if I missed anyone, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Again, the best way to support. Thanks for the chat. I'll go back and catch the rest later. That sounds great, Mary. My pleasure as always. Mary, thank you again for the support. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, everyone, for listening, guys. We got 27 thumbs up here. We've had people coming into the chat, people coming into the show. Francine, thank you. Oh, Brighton, UK. Very nice. I've never been to the UK, but I've certainly heard of Brighton. Great to have you in here, Francine. Unfortunately, we're wrapping up here, but we'll be here every Sunday at least. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to individuals like Mary who have joined the Fit for Life team. I really, really appreciate you guys. Again, those individuals joining the team will be getting perks for joining that team. Also, big shout out to those individuals generously who are super chatting to the channel. You guys know who you are. Appreciate you guys so much. I'm saying it now because you guys do it off stream, so I won't give the names out. But thank you so much, guys, for the donating through the super chat function here on YouTube. Appreciate you guys. Thank you everyone for taking a look at that Amazon recommended list. Things that I think are really gonna take your can really help you get your health to the next level. Again, there's some things that maybe could be added in there, but it's a quite long list. I think there's more than enough to cover and get you started there. Anything, like I said, journals to a water bottle, anything that's going to get you on the right step to, hydration, things that you can write down. I'm a big fan of journaling what you eat, what your workouts are like, how you're feeling that day. If you're a client of mine, you know how much I think that's important, because then if you can follow the trend, if you're feeling good, you know what you did the day before. Thalma, well, my pleasure, Thalma. Thank you for coming in here, Thalma. Pamela as well, thank you for coming in here. My pleasure. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you all. We got to 30 thumbs up. That is amazing. I appreciate you guys. So the great thing is people are starting to kind of know that we're getting back on track here with the Coach Nate show every Sunday. We'll see if we'll add more throughout the week. That's probably going to happen if you guys keep supporting. I'll probably add more of these. You guys have been such great support to me. Hitting thumbs up. We hit the 30 mark today. Coming into the chat and discussing. If you guys keep supporting like that and you guys keep enjoying them, then I will definitely see about adding another show in here once a week. So I just want you guys to know, thank you so much for the long-term support. I think I cannot thank you guys enough. And I hope you got a lot out of today's chat, because I do think cholesterol, heart disease is one of the top things that needs to be on our mind these days. We know that heart disease is the leading cause of death in the world today. So that's why I wanted to specifically talk about lowering cholesterol. Last week we talked about diabetes. Goes hand in hand as well. Your hubby's name is Nate. Okay, nice, Angela. I did not know that. I don't think you had told me that, but he has a great name. But thank you so much, guys. Like I said, 31 thumbs up. You guys are just keep smashing the like button. Thank you so much to everyone for subscribing as well and turning the notifications on. I know the algorithm on YouTube is kind of dicey sometimes. You never know how it's going to work. But I know hitting that notification bell can help, and I'm glad you guys are getting notifications. But thank you thank you so much. Look out for more of the daily videos to come out as well. The daily videos are going to be coming out also, in addition to our live streams. Again, thank you everyone. There was something that I was going to say, but maybe I might have to save it for next time. Oh yes, my face will be on the shows, the Coach Nate show. We're getting that all set up. I'm going to have the camera set up. That way we can have it more personable, one-on-one discussions, just like I would with my clients, anyone that's worked with me here. There's a couple people. They know that, again, if I'm your coach and we're doing consultations or we're working one-on-one, either on a week-by-week basis or whatever it is, whatever the frequency is, just know that it's, done through either Skype or Zoom, and it's face-to-face. It's not just me on a microphone. That's how I kind of want to treat these a little bit as well. So my face will be going on stream. The only reason why it's not is I just don't have the setup that I would like for it. I want to get a better camera and some lighting and all of that stuff. All of the Coach Nate issues. That has nothing to do with you, but I want you guys to know that it will be going on, and that way we can make it more personable. But my face is on the thumbnail, so well, I guess we'll live with that for now. But if you guys didn't notice, my face is up on the thumbnail of the streams or of the shows, so we can live with that for now, guys. But thank you so much. I appreciate you. I know I've said it a ton, but I really want you guys to know how much I do appreciate you, and I do appreciate your support. And thank you so much for listening. Everyone have a safe, happy Sunday. Thank you again. Appreciate you all. We will be back next Sunday for the Coach Nate Show, number 4. And I have another very interesting topic to talk about next week, and I'm very excited to get to that show and to be able to communicate with all of you wonderful people. So thank you so much, friends. I appreciate it. Everyone have a great, happy, healthy day,